Hi, this is Steve All from the All Financial Group. Wanted to welcome everybody to the September 10th Town Hall. And when we hear a date like that, it's hard to believe that it's been 24 years since 9/11. And the things that happened and what's changed since then. And to think we have a whole generation of people that weren't here when that event happened. Kids are growing up today, think about it. They're not more than 30 years old. They probably didn't remember 9/11. So we start to look at that. So I just wanted to go ahead and say, you know, let's remember that, and I always like the saying, if we as Americans acted the way we did after 9/11, everything would be much smoother because everybody came together at that time. And I think right now we might be a little split. So I'm just going to say, the anniversary of 9/11 is tomorrow. Just kind of think about it. It'll be one of those days that we will always remember for the rest of our lives. I'm going to go ahead and turn the first part of this town hall over to Will, and we'll go from there. And then I'll come back. I got quite a few things to talk about, but I'm going to go ahead and say, Will, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Steve. Well, actually, after you just said, I remember where I was on 9/11. I was back in Peru, probably 11 years old, and remember I was uh, getting out of one of my classes, and everybody started talking about it. So definitely something that not only hit here in America, but the whole world. So, but yeah. Well, today, um, following my educational town hall, we're going to talk about year-end retirement moves, right? We are getting to the last quarter of the year. So that's really important because please, please, please don't be like me. Do not leave things for the end, right? You need to start preparing for stuff. So there's a lot of things going on, right? A lot of things that we're hearing in the news. The Fed may rate cut soon. Inflation is cooling, right? But we don't know. Still, some things may change. There will be elections next year. No presidential elections, but other type of elections, right? That they may affect the environment. So things that it can hit, your incomes, your annuities, investments. So I will give you a type of checklist today that you can add and you can just start reviewing whenever you come to your reviews. Start going through that checklist. If you're not part of All Financial, that will be a great questions for you to ask the person is helping you right now. So, number one, tax moves before December 31st, right? Right now, for everybody over 70 and a half, remember you have different type of ages for your required minimum distributions, right? Your Roth conversions. So if you have to do any type of Roth conversions and you were planning to do it, remember, it's almost end of the year. If you're going to do something, talk to us, give us a call, or talk to the person who's helping you. What is the plan for the Roth conversion if you need it for this year, right? If you have gain losses, what is the strategy if you want to harvest some gain losses for this year? And if you are charitable by nature, right? Your qualified charitable distributions, remember, is from your IRAs after you're 70 and a half, and you can give for any qualified charity, and none of you pay taxes. Remember, your kids, your grandkids are not qualified charitable institutions. The second one, I jump a little bit, but the second one, number two, it will be your requirement minimum distributions. Now we will talk about your RMDs. Remember, one of the things I always tell our clients is that we are not going to actually send you an alert, right? We will monitor how your requirement distributions are doing. If you took one during the year, If you need money, make sure you talk to the person who's helping you or talk to Stacy. But if we don't hear from you by October, we will be reaching out to you to say, hey, remember, right? You need to take your required minimum distribution. It used to be a 50% um, um, 50% penalty for it, but now it's 25. It's a penalty. So remember, try to make sure that you are looking at your required minimum distributions. If you don't know when you have to take your required minimum distribution, please let us know. We'll be able to help with that. Number three, I was talking about the Fed, right? Interest rates. So interest rates affects a lot of things around your retirement, your investments, and also your annuities. So specific fixed index annuities are affected by the interest rates. So it may be a time for you to take advantage of those rates right now. Exchanges is something that, again, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. If, again, you're not part of All Financial, you have some annuities around and you may be able to look at a review, please let us know. We'll be able to help you with that too. Number four, portfolio review, income planning, right? Interest rates, and one of the things that we always see if you have a pension too, whenever interest rates are up, you need less money to accomplish these payments. Whenever interest rates go down, you need more money to accomplish those payments. So we need to review that, right? We need to review your portfolios. If you have any type of income funds, you have any type of pensions, and you need to make a decision soon, is something that you have to review, put in your checklist soon before the end of the year. Anything is related also. Number five, estate legacy planning, right? Review your wills, review your trust, any power of attorney, financial power of attorney, medical power of attorney, right? Remember, laws are always changing. One of our questions every time we have a new person coming to the office, David always makes sure to ask them, when was the last time you review your trust, your power of attorneys, your wills? We want to make sure you're reviewing every 3 to 5 years, making sure that you are aware of the changes that's happening right now. Number six and last one will be insurance, long-term care. It's something that right now a lot of clients, a lot of people in the doors of retirement or right now in retirement are thinking about, right? Every person has a different situation. If you have the plan, like my parents, if their long-term care plan is their kid, make sure you talk to your kids. We were talking around with different type of people, clients. I need to talk to my kids to see what are they trying to do, if they can help me. Different situations and different kids give you different answers. So make sure you are always aware about that. And also, long-term care is not like it used to be. Things change a lot. So if you need to have information, talk about long-term care, please let us know, because a lot of things change and we'll be able to give you an informed response. So that's my checklist today. Make sure, don't wait until the end of the year for all this. If you need any help, please let us know and we will be more than happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Will, very much. We appreciate it. I'm going to cover a lot of different topics as we look at the here. The month of September has been a very, very busy month for us. Tracey Richardson was hired by the office. She will be a new advisor in the firm that when we sit down, she has been 22 years in the industry and predominantly working with higher net worth clients. So she's going to help us all the way through everything that we had. Stacy's birthday, it was her 29th birthday. I will not go any further than that. She's worked for me for a few years and I just as soon keep it that way. But her birthday was last week, so it's been fairly busy. Next week, we have our 15th anniversary dinner. We do have some spots open for clients still at this time. We're not on a waiting list yet, but we are getting very close. So if you would like to, go to that event, please give the office a call. Ask if we still have room available for you. We'll do whatever we can to make that room available. Now, I always like it when I do a Wednesday report and the market's up. It's always a lot more fun to do these when the markets are up. So we have new highs. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ hit new highs today. The NASDAQ was driven by a stock that hadn't been really in the news since the 1990s. Was the big drive in the NASDAQ today. So hopefully more than just the Mag 7 and the big tech stocks will help drive the market as it goes. The other thing that I think is important when we look at the market is those small caps, that NASDAQ 2000. Those smaller cap stocks usually drag when interest rates are higher. Why? Because their lending cost is more. They will benefit the most when the Federal Reserve makes adjustments. So what are we thinking about there? Next week, the Federal Reserve will meet again on the 17th. Most of us believe that it will be at least a quarter of a point move. We start to look at if it is a half a point move. There's pluses and minuses around that thought. Is the economy slowing so much that they feel that they need to do it? Could it cause a bubble in the stock market? Exuberance from the stock market gets the market out ahead of where it is. A little bit of over exuberance. Those are some of the things that we have to look at when those things happen. Does it make sense? I believe that they'll go slow. That's been my experience with the Federal Reserve. I think they should have raised rates a lot more before they did, instead of waiting until inflation was so high that they just had to raise it way up. It'd have been really nice if they would have just used some of that ammunition earlier in that inflation cycle. And then they've been very slow in bringing it down. So those are some of the things that we will be watching, And we also have to look at it. We've made a decision for our clients. One of the main software that we have used over the years, we are going to switch to one called eMoney. eMoney is what we've been beta testing for a while here in the office, and it does have the availability for clients to go in and move their stuff around. They could add $5,000 to their expenses. Well, the problem with that is once we use it as our primary planning software, we can't allow that to happen. So what we will be doing is freezing the client's availability to edit things like that. That would be a conversation with David. One of the things that could be very advantageous if you do have a 401k that's held away, some asset that's held away that you would like to get that in there, being able to link some of those would be very important. If that linking availability is available, it speeds up the process. And then when you come into the office, we don't have to ask the question, what is the value of your 401k at ABC company? If it's linked, we already have it when you walk in the door. And I think that can be very important, and it's very advantageous for you, the clients. And then I'm going to go ahead and share a screen on some of those things that we do have coming up. Okay, we do have our referral and new client dinner. That is going to be coming soon. You should get an invitation to that. We do that at Bishop's Post. That's that thing that we say, hey, new clients, welcome aboard. We're going to have you sit down and we're going to let you meet all of the staff. Again, the Marriott West, that 15th anniversary dinner, that is next week. Give us a call. One of the things that a lot of people ask about when I do the taxes in retirement, we're going to be doing it at Stone Summit out in Wentzville. If you're out in the St. Charles area, somebody that would like to come, please invite them. We will allow them and you to come with us for dinner. we feel that's a very simple way for people to introduce us to your friends and family, because the firm has grown because of referrals. And as I put it, I'd rather do business with people I like doing business with. And that's why I sit here and say, you know, what us working with your friends and family is the greatest compliment that we can ever get. And I want to thank everybody that's on this call, or you see it on another media outlet. Thank you for being a part of our family.